We want to welcome back Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, joining us live via Skype. Thanks again for being here, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you for having me.
Well, talks of an economic restart, they're really intensifying now with a regional approach. As you've said, it's not one size fits all in New York State. And we know that our county executives are hoping to have a plan put together in place early next week and then present to the governor. How do you envision that happening, and what kind of businesses do you think in central New York might lend themselves to being the first to reopen?
Well, the first dynamic is also to continue measuring our healthcare outcomes, which is a simple way of saying, are the numbers staying steady? Are they being plateaued, or are they starting to head downward? So what is going to drive the reopening is how confident we feel that the number of cases is not going to go up. The last thing we want to do is open a second too early and have a setback where there all of a sudden is a high rate of contagion and people testing positive. So once we get to a place we feel comfortable with the healthcare numbers and the public health interests, then we can talk about businesses that lend themselves to fewer people congregating, for example. Something like outdoor construction may be on the table earlier than others. As a new development to be able to get golf courses and marinas open. That's the kind of businesses that, again, there's less social contact. It's great to be outdoors when the weather's good. So we're just trying to open up slowly. But talking about manufacturing as well and how that's going to play out in terms of what happens in the workplace. What protocols need to be in place to protect the employees, or if it's a business that has customers, how they're protected. So these are all the issues being talked about now, and I'm leading this effort for the other side of upstate, but a lot of what we're doing there will also cover central New York. But the good news is that there will not be a one-size-fits-all. We will not be held back with our ability to reopen some parts of upstate contingent on what's happening in New York City, because they still have a long way to go to recovery, and it's unfortunate what our fellow New Yorkers are having to endure, but we are very fortunate upstate that the numbers are just not seeing what we would have predicted a couple of weeks ago. So we're in a better place for sure.
And you mentioned you're in charge of the reopening in Western New York, Bob Duffy in charge of the Finger Lakes. A lot of us want to know who's in charge of Central New York.
We are all in charge of Central New York. The governor has not made a specific designation, but we're still continuing to gather the exact same data, what the hospitals are reporting, what the public health agencies are reporting in the counties, and gathering all that. So we're not excluding any part of the state. It just made sense because I am physically camped out in Buffalo that I would start working on that region. But I am also in regular contact with elected officials and business owners throughout the state, including Central New York, and talking to people at Syracuse University, for example, and what is going to be the situation for whether or not students come back in the fall. And so I'm very engaged as I continue to be the chair of the Regional Economic Development Council, as I'm focused on the entire state at the same time as working on the reopening as well.
We're coming up on wedding season. A lot of brides are making plans. What would you say to a bride who has plans to get married in June?
June is going to be tough. This might be a very small family gathering, then you have to put off the larger celebration. One of my staff members just told me today she had to postpone her June wedding, so this is hitting close to home. It's sad, but this is something that when you have your 50th wedding anniversary, you're going to talk about how you and your new spouse at the time survived the pandemic of 2020. It's something that it's sad. There's been a lot of family milestones like graduations and births of children and missing Easter and Passover celebrations together. But we hope that if we get this right, and the governor has done an exceptional job leading us through this time, that we'll end up in a place we don't ever have to go back to where we are today, because we don't want to revisit this bad movie. We don't want to replay this ever again. We're going to get it right this time.
How about schools? Any timetable for schools to get back into session?
The governor knows that he allowed these schools to remain closed until a May 15th deadline. That's something he said he's going to revisit within the next week or so we'll have some new announcements on that shortly. And again, we didn't want to do anything too prematurely. We wanted to always leave open that possibility that the numbers would continue to surprise us and be much lower than we anticipated. What we didn't anticipate was that they would plateau and stay at the same rate statewide, mostly New York City, for the longest time that they have. And so we need to start seeing a downward trend in that. And that's playing into the whole question of when we reopen business, when we open schools, when we reopen our transportation centers. So it's all tied together, and the governor's been clear since the beginning that he's going to look at it holistically instead of one entity like schools alone.
All right, new announcements soon, you say. We're all going to be waiting for that, and we hope that you'll check back in with us and bring us an update.
Be happy to. Thank you.
Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, we thank you.